Hello, welcome back to our 10-week yoga series. This program is designed for seniors. However, beginners can also attend these classes. If you've never attended a yoga class before, welcome. My name is Renee. All you need is a yoga mat. If you don't have a yoga mat, you have carpet in the house, feel free to use the carpet or put a towel down to give you a little bit of extra cushion underneath you, a little bit of traction. The main thing is you do not want to do this class on the kitchen floor. You'll be sliding around and you might potentially hurt yourself, okay? And the number one thing that I ask is that you honor yourself and how you feel. There might be some poses that you've done before, feel super comfortable, and there might be some poses that you've never done before and you're like, oh my God, what is that feeling? Don't push yourself to a point of pain. You want to feel uncomfortable, which is okay. It's good to feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable myself. We're outside. There's a lot going on. But that's what life is about. Being uncomfortable, getting out of your comfort zone. Okay? So all you need is a mat. If you have yoga props at home, if you have a strap, a block, a bolster, pillow, blanket, anything you want to keep close by, if you want to keep all the things close by. If you have a fur baby with you, a lot of dogs kind of sometimes relax during your yoga practice or they bother you the entire time. So whatever your practice looks like today, thank you for joining. This is week 7 of our 10-week series, so we have a few classes afterwards. This is hosted, thankfully, for the Linden Rec Center. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you are participating or plan to participate going forward, please call the Rec Center and let them know like you're attending the yoga classes, you enjoy them, if there's anything you want to see, or maybe we'll be in different places next time. So tune in to the next class as well. But as of right now, we're going to get started in our child's pose. And I'll talk you through all the poses, but again, honor yourself and how you feel. If you feel uncomfortable, it's okay, explore that feeling, but if you feel pain, start to come out of it. And a lot of times, the way we get into a pose, you just hit rewind, is the same way we get out of a pose, okay? Again, my name is Renee, I'm a longtime resident. We can't join together in a class, unfortunately right now, but we can be outside. So I hope to give you some outside vibes inside your home while you do practice today. So we are gonna get started in our child's pose. So you're gonna rise up to the shins, bring the big toes to touch behind you, open up the knees a little bit wider than your torso. So just about the width of the mat. Extend the arms out in front, walk them out, slide the hands down, and surrender down to the mat. I'm gonna move back a little bit here and surrender down. We're gonna stay here in our child's pose. I'm gonna move around. I'm gonna do a singing bowl for you, but you can be active in your child's pose. So what that means is the fingers, the palms stay on the ground, so the arms are completely off the ground, or you can bend the elbows and rest the arms. Potentially putting your forehead on the ground. If your forehead is on the ground, and I'll try to show you, if your forehead is on the ground, just rock the head to the left and to the right, massaging out your third eye, your forehead. And come into your breath once you arrive in your child's pose. Notice the inhale as the belly and the torso expands. You feel a rise in the body. And as you exhale, the body comes closer down to the legs. And just continue to breathe. Releasing any thoughts, feelings, emotions. Just give it up. Let it all go down to your mat. On your next exhale, try to reach the hips toward the heels, sinking deeper into your child's pose. And maybe that means kind of rocking into the shins, into the legs, left and right. And then come back to stillness. Find your heartbeat. Breathe deep into heart space. And thank yourself for showing up, giving yourself an opportunity to move, an opportunity to tune into your body. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, wiggle your nose. And your next inhale, we're gonna go ahead and rise up onto the hands, coming to our tabletop pose. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take a look back at the feet. Make sure you can't see your feet. Feet are hidden behind the knees. Inhale, look out in front, setting up for our cow pose, arch the back. And as you exhale, we're gonna go ahead and float all the way back down to our child. So nice little moving meditation here. Every inhale, rising up, arching back, look forward, slight bend of the elbows. Exhale, flowing down. And do that 3 more times. Inhale, rising up, rounding the spine, arching the back. Exhaling all the way back down. If you want a little bit more here, as you inhale, rise on up, tuck those toes behind you, stretching out the bottoms of the feet. Exhale, untuck the toes, bring it back. Last time. Inhale, rising up to your tabletop, and we're gonna stay here. Again, hands are shoulder width apart. Spread the fingers wide. You want the middle fingers pointing straight out in front, as if the 2 middle fingers are creating a train track out in front of you if you use your imagination. Okay, make sure we can't see the feet. From here, place the weight into your right hand. Tent the left fingertips, and I'm bringing my hand out in front just so you guys can see, but you're gonna stay equal to the opposite hand, so you're underneath the shoulder. You're gonna tent the fingertips out in front. From here, tuck those right toes behind you. Don't break my glasses. Tuck those right toes behind you. Pull the belly in, so you're supporting your spine here. That left knee and right hand are your foundation. You're rooted. Maybe you can lift up in that left hand, reach that hand out in front. If you want a little bit more here, lift that right foot off the ground. We're reaching our hand out in front and our foot back behind us. Find polarity in the body, and we're holding. That left knee and right hand are super solid. It's as if you're gonna tear the mat in half. Slight bend of the elbow. We're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you exhale, bring the elbow to knee connection. We're gonna hold here for that full exhale, slight round of the back. Inhale, bring it back down to the ground. And rock the body out to the left and to the right. Setting up for the opposite side. Come back to stillness. Middle fingers pointing straight out in front. Tops of the feet pressing down to the ground. From here, tent the right fingertips. Straighten that left leg back. Left toes are tucked. If you want a little bit more, you have the option to stay here. If you want more, lengthen the right hand out in front. Spin the pinky finger toward you so you can see your pinky finger out in front. But for the most part, our gaze is down at our mat. We don't want to crank our neck by looking out in front. So keep the neck nice and straight. If you want even more, go ahead and lift that left foot, flex that foot. Imagine you're stepping your foot on the wall behind you and hold. Create the polarity here. Reach away from the body. We're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. On your exhale, crunch, elbow to knee connection. Hold for the full duration of your exhale. Inhale, come on down and sway the body out. You can get the head involved. And come back to stillness. Tuck the toes. Slight bend of the elbows. You're like dragging your elbows back toward you. And straighten the legs. Make your way into your down dog. Bend the knees. Drop the head between the window of the arms and check in with your down dog here. Can you bend the knees a little bit more? Feet are hip width apart. Look at your hands. Hands are shoulder width apart. We never move the hands. We never move the feet. Okay, so come on back down to your tabletop. And I just want you to notice that, right? Hands and feet stay exactly where they are. All we do is straighten, lift the hips up. Okay? Do that 2 more times. Back to table. And notice I have a really deep bend of my knees. I'm not trying to straighten the legs out just yet. We just arrived in our practice. Come on back to your tabletop, untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet down to the ground, and give them a nice little massage by pushing them down into the mat. Come to stillness, and we're setting up for our bird dog again. So right hand stays down, left knee is gonna stay where it is, and push that left shin, left foot down to the ground. Tent those fingertips, straighten that right leg. Reach that left hand out in front. And before we go anywhere, I want you to shift your body back so you can feel the stretch in that right calf. Okay, if you want a little bit of movement here, you can kind of rock on the toes. Two and 1. If you want a little bit more, go ahead and lift that leg, flex the foot, reach away from the body. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw the elbow to knee connection. Inhale, lengthen. Inhale, hold, and we're gonna pulse everything up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lengthen, bring it on down. Sway the body out. Come back to stillness. Setting up for the opposite side. Tent the right fingertips. Tuck the left toes behind you for a calf stretch here. You can rock forward and back, or if you want, you can go ahead and reach that arm out already. Find the length in that upper body. 2 and 1. For additional intensity, go ahead, lift that leg up, flex the foot, find length away from the body. As you exhale, crunch it in, elbow to knee connection. 1. And lengthen, we're gonna hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're gonna pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down to the ground, sway, rock the body out. And then come on down to your child's pose. So big toes touch behind you. Sink the hips back toward the heels and allow yourself to fold forward. I'm not gonna go all the way because I wanna make sure you guys can hear me, but you can rest the forehead. And we're gonna take the arms back behind us. Fun fact, I'm blind as a bat, so this is so fun not to have my glasses on, okay? So we're in our child's pose, right? Instead of having the arms out in front, take the arms down, back behind you. And I hope you can see, but what we want to do with the arms behind us, as you inhale, lengthen, spread the fingers wide. As you exhale, curl the fingers in, create fists and pull them in. Gonna get amazing stretch in the forearms, in the wrists. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull it all in. Got 3 more times, 3 more breaths. Take the hands out in front and we're gonna press up to our tabletop position and we're gonna stretch out the wrists. So Go ahead and flip the hands. So now the fingertips are facing toward you. And if you already have like a wrist injury or anything, just go very gentle. So you could start seated upright as I am instead of being in tabletop, and just very slight pressure, right? So you have a shorter distance versus my hands would be over there. So this is the more gentle variation, just very gentle, putting the backs of the knuckles on the mat. And I'm just gently pushing my hands into the mat, okay? Going back to if you don't have an injury, so you're in tabletop, flip the hands. Try to keep the back of the hands on the mat the whole time. And you're just gonna rock back and forward. Very slight, nothing crazy. You don't want your hands to fall off. It is so refreshing to be outside. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys are enjoying this at home. And we're gonna come off the hands, flip the hands. So we're back to where we were before. If you have a wrist injury at home, same thing. And we're gonna go ahead and rotate the hands out. So now the fingertips are gonna face the edges of the mat. So the wrists are facing each other, slight bend of the elbows, and just kind of bring the heart down just a few inches. Not trying to do a push-up or anything, but just slightly bend. And if that feels good, you wanna go further. If you have your hand completely flat on the mat, we're gonna turn the hands back toward us so the fingertips are facing the body, okay? Again, same thing. If you have a wrist concern or injury, just come back, okay? If you feel fine, you feel good, we're gonna keep the hands planted on the ground and just slightly lean back, have a slight bend of the elbows. Beautiful. Come on up, shake the hands out. The other thing that we can do is we'll open and close the hands. So for people at home, at any point during your practice, if you notice like, oh, my wrists are really feeling it, you're gonna close the fingers and open, open, close. We'll do this 10 times. 10, 9, 8, try to go a little bit faster. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go, shake it out, beautiful. So coming back to our tabletop, hands underneath the shoulders. Fingers are spread wide, middle fingers pointing out straight in front. Look back at the knees. Knees are underneath the hips. And you want to make sure you can't see your feet. Can't see the feet. So then tuck the toes. Release the knees from the ground. And we're pressing back into our downward facing dog, where we were earlier. Okay, notice, again, my hands and feet did not move. Okay, one more time. Come on down to tabletop and down dog. Bend the knees, walk your dog out, melting the fascia that connects throughout our body, through our muscles, to our bones. Alternating knees. Come to stillness. Check in with the feet. Feet are in the same position, right? Hip width apart. They're not together. Feet are hip width apart. And we're drawing the inner ankles back behind us. Heels are energetically reaching down to the ground. Then we're going to roll forward into plank. So keep the body, the hands and the feet remain where they are, and roll forward into plank. So this is another position that you want to be able to hold properly between the two. So for me, I have to bring my feet back a little bit. So for plank, your heels are reaching back behind you, fingertips pressing down into the ground, slight bend of the elbow so we don't lock out our joints, and send it back down dog. Try that a few times at home, about 2 to 3 times. And you want to make sure that you can seamlessly flow between the two. Back into your down dog. Bend the knees into the chest. Exhale, straighten, reach the heels down. It's okay if they do not touch. Again, inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Last time. Roll forward into plank. Bend the right knee into the chest. Plant that right foot. Step that back foot in, setting up for our warrior one. So if it's your first class ever, that makes no sense to you, so I'll guide you. So warrior one, we have our feet hip width apart. I have a nice bend in my front knee. The back toes are tucked, okay? If you want, you can step in a little bit more so your foot is completely flat. You're gonna reach the arms up. I like to spin my pinky fingers in toward me so I'm not engaging into my shoulders here. Option 2, if that's too much, you can keep the hands on the hips. You just want to make sure that you're pushing the right hip back, left hip forward. So that way we can keep the hips even. Okay, so wherever you are, we're going to hold for 2 breaths. Turn the hands away from you and bring the hands back behind. Interlace the fingers. Wherever you are, maybe you're all the way down here, wherever, it doesn't matter. But just know, once you make that interlace of the hands, notice what thumb is on top. So for me, my left thumb is on top. And pull the shoulders back. Imagine like someone is behind you. Imagine I'm behind you and I'm pulling your hands back behind. So we're gonna get a nice heart opener here, nice shoulder opener. Stay solid in the feet. We have that nice bend in that front knee. And we're just slightly gonna start to hinge forward from our hips. Okay, don't look like to go and like kiss your knee, just very slight, okay, nothing crazy. One more breath, and come on up. I'm pulling your hands back, so that helps you to come right back in to your warrior one. Open the arms up. Beautiful. From here, we're gonna take the hands down to the ground, surround that right foot. Bring that right foot back. Bend the elbows, bend the knees. Come on down. Inhale, pull your heart through. And we're looking out in front of us. We're not like trying to look up, okay? So just pull your heart through, shoulders back. Bend the knees, tuck the toes, send it back, down dog. So very gentle here. Bend the knees into the chest. As you exhale, lengthen. 2 more times. Roll forward into plank. Draw the left knee in toward the chest. Plant that left foot next to that left hand. Step the back foot in. Again, you can have the half front of the foot down or completely step it in so that whole foot is flat on the ground. Hips are even. Left hip is going back, right hip is going forward. Option to keep the hands on the hips or reach the hands up. 2 breaths. Your feet are so strong, you feel like you're literally gonna tear your mat in half. Turn the palms away from you and bring it on back. And you wanna interlace the opposite side this time. So before my left thumb was on top, now my right thumb is gonna be on top. It feels weird, but we gotta even you out at home, okay? Shoulders back, heart forward. Remember, our legs are solid. Don't lose the integrity of the foundation. From here, slightly lean forward. Keep in mind, when you do things on the left side versus the other side, different feelings, different, positions, different angles the body will make, and that's okay. What matters is that you give yourself the opportunity to move, the opportunity to explore, and embrace what you feel. 1 more breath. Beautiful. Inhale, come on up. Open the arms up. Take the hands down, surrounding left foot, step it back, bend the knees, bend the elbows, drop the heart down, right? So my heart is completely down on the mat, and then roll the shoulders back, roll the heart forward, okay? Pressing the tops of the feet down onto the mat, bend the knees, lift the booty, send it back to down dog. Beautiful. And we're gonna go ahead and roll forward into plank. Push the fingertips down into the ground. Heels are reaching back behind you. Right knee into the chest. Plant the foot. Keep the toes tucked, or you can step that left foot in. That's okay. We're trying to go for a high crescent lunge here. So this feels amazing on the hip flexor. Okay, but again, if you feel weebly wobbly, don't fall down. Your feet are too close together. You don't wanna be on a tightrope. You wanna be hip width apart. High crescent lunge. Lean back into that back foot. So you're stretching out the bottom of the foot as well. It goes up the leg, slight bend of the knee. Keep the integrity in the front knee. Try to sink a little bit lower. Beautiful. You could stay here the whole time. If you want to find a little bit of movement, you could take the prayer at heart center, bring the knee down, give it a little tap. We're gonna go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Reach your arms up. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down like you're gonna do a cartwheel, but don't really do it. And step that right foot back. Beautiful. Drop the knees. Nice and controlled. We're gonna try to go a little bit slower. Bend the elbows. Coming on down. Inhale, pull the heart through, shoulders back. Tuck the toes, lift the booty, send it back, down dog. Drop the head, shake the head out. Bend the knees into the chest. Exhale, straighten. Roll forward into plank. Body is solid, pulling belly button up and in. Left knee in toward the chest. Drop that left foot. Again, left foot is next to the left hand. Option to step that right foot in for warrior 2 or stay for a high crescent lunge. Feel that stretch all right here in the hip flexor. Like you're gonna be taller after this, because you will. Reach your hands up. Again, option to stay here or place the hands at heart center. And we're gonna give it a little tap. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the hands, bring it up. And cartwheel the hands down to the ground. Step the left foot back. Drop the knees wider than the body, so just about the width of the yoga mat. And send it back to your child's pose. Hips go back toward the heels. And try to stay active here. So the hands are pressing down into the ground. And surrender the head down. We're not trying to, reach our head down to the ground. So we're making, trying to hyperextend our neck. We just want to trying to find ease here. Allow the hands to slide out away from you. Torso's inside the legs. 2 breaths. Inhale, coming on up to our tabletop check-in. Hands under shoulders, knees under the hips, tuck the toes, send it back down dog. Lift the right leg, draw the knee into the chest, plant the right foot. Keep those toes tucked, or option to walk it in for warrior 1. Again, feet are hip width apart, arms up. Sink a little lower. And we're gonna go ahead and drop the arms down and back up. For 3, 1. Beautiful. From here, we're gonna transition into warrior 2. So I'm gonna turn around so you guys get a better angle. So from here, we're in our high crescent lunge, right? Left toes are tucked. We have that nice bend in that front knee. Drop that back foot, pivot on the toes. So now the outer edge of the foot is parallel or equal to the back of the mat. So think of like an equal sign. Keep that the bend in the front leg, and take a look at your right heel. You want to make sure that the right heel, if you could draw a line to the back heel as if there's a straight line. There's some yoga mats that have lines on them. That's where this could be really helpful, but use your imagination. So we draw that line, open the arms up. So we feel that polarity again throughout the body. So I'm reaching my hands in the opposite direction, spreading my fingers wide, looking over that front middle finger. Fun fact, in other countries, like Germany, they point with their middle finger. So it's not like a bad thing. They like actually point to like, oh, look at the bird. So just a fun fact. Reach your hand out in front. Lean forward, flip the palm, lean it back, peaceful warrior. When we lean back, we're trying to reach up and back, not, go for one of these, up and back. Find the length in the side body. You can keep your hand on your hip, slide down, or bring it back behind you. And we're gonna make our way forward. Take that front elbow inside the right knee. Don't rest, no resting. Inside, maybe take the hand down to a block or a prop. A lot of people are being resourceful nowadays and using things at yoga studios like their water bottles as a prop. And reach that top hand up. Beautiful. Acknowledge the shake. You want to make sure that the hips are open. And turn the head only if it feels good. You want to make sure you have length in the neck. You don't crink your neck, okay? I'm going to make our way back into warrior two. And cartwheel the hands down. No real cartwheels, just the hands. Pivot on the back toes. Send that right leg back. Bend the knees, come on down. Bend the elbows, even slower than last time. 5, 4, 3. Oh my gosh, we got this. 2 and 1. Beautiful job. Bring the shoulders back, heart forward. Look down at the ground. Tuck the toes. Lift the booty, send it back. Child's pose, just one breath. I'm gonna pivot around. And I'm gonna come on up into tabletop. You guys know where we're going. Tabletop, tuck the toes. Send it back, down dog. Lift the left leg high. Bring it into the chest. Place that left foot down. Come on up. Sink a little deeper. Beautiful. From here, you're gonna pivot on that back foot. Open up. Find your length. And close it up, come back. We forgot our circle, so arms go down, back up for 3, 2. Keep the bend in that front knee. Perfect. From here, now we pivot open. Warrior two is my favorite pose. So again, check in with the outer edge of that right foot. It is literally making an equal sign with the back of your mat. Use your imagination. Check in with that heel. Drawing a line. Straight back to the other heel. Okay. Arms up. Chest is open. Shoulders are open. Hips are open. And we're really pushing that outer edge of that foot into the mat. Spread the fingers wide. Again, look over the front middle finger. Maybe you're pointing at something. Oh, God. And reach, one more breath. Lean forward, flip the front palm, lean it up and back, peaceful warrior. Keep the bend in the front knee. Reach, one more breath. And as we come forward, we keep the bend the entire time. Take the elbow inside the left knee, inside. You can take your hands to your heart like, oh my God, my heart is beating so fast. What is she doing to me? No, I'm kidding. Take the hand down to the ground or to a prop. Reach that top arm up. Maybe you look down at the hand if it feels good on the neck, out in front, or turn the head. Look at the thumb. Give yourself a thumbs up for today's class. For showing up. Maybe you found the program randomly. Thank you. I love when things like that happen. I always take it as a sign. Other people around me are like, no, it's not a sign. And we're gonna come on up right back into our warrior two. Lengthen, find some space here. Imagine you're like Stretch Armstrong or Stretch a Girl or Elastigirl, whatever it's called, and you're reaching. And then cartwheel the hands down to the ground. Step that left foot back. Drop the knees, child's pose, one breath. Inhale, come on up. And we're gonna get our feet out in front of us. Okay, so easy seat. And however you end up here in your easy seat, so crisscross applesauce, just notice what leg is on top and what leg is not on top, and switch. Right? That's typically what you always go for. So we want you to feel uncomfortable. We want you to experience newness, okay? So from here, roll the shoulders back, reach the hands up, and we're gonna twist on our exhale to the right. Take the left hand to the top knee. So we're just tenting the fingertips back behind us, and we're pushing to create a twist here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, opposite side, right hand to the top of that left knee. Inhale up. If it feels good and you want a little bit more out of this twist, turn your head, keep the length in the neck, but turn your head back. So you're looking over that back shoulder. Right, keep the length and turn. One more time on each side. Beautiful. From here, I'm just gonna turn sideways. Go ahead and make your way to lay on your back. Feet are gonna be hip width apart, knees are bent. Setting up for our bridge pose. Arms down at the sides, thumbs facing in toward each other. Press the shoulders back, lift the heart. Feel like there's a magnet in front of you and it's lifting the heart up. Press the hands down, shoulders back, right? You saw what I did here? My shoulders are forward. Push them back, the heart goes forward. Walk the heels in as much as you can so you can tap the fingertips. And we're gonna go ahead, push all four corners of the feet down to the ground, lifting the hips up, bridge pose. Beautiful. Feel the engagement in the quads. Engage the glutes. And we're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it on down. Windshield wiper the legs to the left and to the right. But be generous with your rock here. A lot of times people in class are just like, No, really get that movement in. And go one more time, round 2 for bridge pose. So set up, feet are hip width apart. Walk the feet in toward your hands, so maybe the fingertips touch. Press down into the mat, lift up. Option to stay in stillness, or if you want to find some movement here. As you exhale, come down, bring the hips to hover, but not to touch. Inhale up. And every time you lift the hips up, try to go up like 1 more centimeter. Beautiful. From here, bring the knees in toward each other and heel toe the feet out just about the width of the mat. Take the hands to the belly, and just by taking the hands to the belly, you promote your low back to push down into the ground. So you're lengthening your tailbone away from the body so you can press low back down to the ground. So this is a great reset for that lumbar spine, that low back. Come back to where you came from. Keep the right leg where it is. Lift the left leg high, flex the foot, and then point. So we're waking up the ligaments here. We just did a lot on our hands and our feet, so show them some love. You can even kind of rotate the wrists out. From here, we're gonna pivot that left leg into that hip joint. Bend the knee so we can relax that left ankle on top of that right knee. Figure 4, you can just stay here. This is amazing for your back. If you would like a little bit more, release the right foot from the ground. You can keep the bend of the knee. If you want even more, I like to provide a lot of different options in my classes because it allows everybody to meet themselves where they are. First timer ever to the person who's like their millionth class, okay? So from here, you can keep the bend. Or if you want to straighten, and as you straighten this leg, you're also drawing the left leg in closer, okay? Additional option, keep the right arm where it is. Left hand's gonna go inside, interlace the fingers, and guide that right thigh in even closer, okay? That leg doesn't have to be straight. You can bend the knee, keep the foot flexed. Wherever you are, okay? Remember, we don't want to have pain. We do want to be uncomfortable. If that's too much, kind of ease up a second and go right back into it. And you can play with the different positionings of the hand along the thigh too, to help guide in a little closer. Go ahead and release the right foot down to the ground. Take the right hand to the top of the knee and just cross the legs. As you cross, keep the torso on your mat. Just surrender the feet down. Option to keep your head looking up towards the ceiling or turn your head in the opposite direction. But remember, we want to keep the length. So we're going to turn, keeping the integrity of the spine. I'm gonna come back up, looking back up toward the ceiling, and lift the legs up, straighten the legs out. We're gonna take a long body stretch here. Push that low back into the ground. So if I try to put my hands underneath me, there's no space. Push that backbone down, reach arms up overhead, pull the ribs in, and go ahead and lengthen. Point the toes away from you, reach the hands away, and then exhale, crunch it in, and then drop the feet down to the ground. This time, opposite side. So we're gonna keep the left leg where it is, straighten the right leg up, point and flex, make some circles, same thing with the wrists again. Especially our feet hold us up all the time, and we don't even tend to think of, oh my God, I gotta get a foot massage or reflexology. If you feel like your feet are bothering you at home, definitely go and look for a reflexologist. That'll definitely help. Okay, you're gonna go ahead and turn the leg, bend the knee, rest the right ankle on top of that left thigh or knee. Option to stay here in your figure 4. If you want a little bit more, you can kind of just put the hand to the knee and just give a little gentle pressure, okay? Additional option, you can lift that left foot from the ground, keep the bend. Additional option, you straighten that leg up, drawing right leg closer, or take the right hand through, interlace the fingers, and draw that leg even closer in. If you notice it's too much, just give yourself a moment to reset and go right back. And go ahead and release. Guide that right leg over the top of the left and just allow the legs to fall down to the left side. You can always use a prop, put a bolster or a blanket underneath the foot to help support you. Shoulders stay on the ground. Keep the length of the neck. You can look toward the ceiling, or if you want to turn your head, you'll just turn your head. So what I like to do is imagine that point that I can see with my eyes, and I'll draw a line. And as I draw the line, so I still have the length, I'm not crunching, okay? That's what we want to prevent. We want to keep this length. Making our way back to center. One more long body stretch. So lengthen the legs, arms up overhead, point and flex the feet, reach away. And then allow the legs to splay out to the sides, relaxing the feet, knees, hips. Arms can come down to the ground, palms down for grounding energy, palms up if you feel like you need abundant energy. Personally, I always do one hand up, one hand down. If you've been in the classes for weeks, you guys already know this. You probably do it too. It just helps create balance. One hand up, one hand down. Relax the torso. Breathe deep into the pit of the belly as if you're breathing all the way down. Relax the shoulders, the arms. The muscles of your face, relax your jaw. And just relax, lay on your mat. The same way that we began class, we're gonna end class with our singing bowl. Come back to your body. Come back to your breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take your hands to your heart. Find your heartbeat. Breathe deep into your heart. Thank yourself for showing up, doing something for yourself, trying something new. The biggest and best thing that you can do is show up for yourself. A lot of times we always push ourselves to show up for everybody else, that we sometimes forget about ourselves. So today, thank you to yourself for remembering to do something for you. We're going to end our practice today with one deep cleansing breath in. Pull that breath in all the way deep into the belly, into the chest, into the throat. Exhale, let it go. May your thoughts, words, and actions stem from your heart. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to check this program out for next week. It's at, I believe, Monday, 10 a.m. I could be wrong because they tend to change the program, but be sure to tune in for next time. Have a lovely day.